All right, there we had a little glitch there after the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, you are now tuned into the Investor Show. As always, this is your gracious host, the Prince of Investing, Prince Dykes, coming to you guys and girls live all the way from the beautiful city and state of Denver, Colorado. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share button if you are catching this live. And if you're live, tell me where you're from. Tell me where you're checking in from across the globe. So, for example, as you guys and girls can already see in the description box, and as you already saw the flyer, we got a very, very special episode coming to you guys again. Today, we have the CEO of JetDoc, Mr. Tommy Duncan, coming in live talking about his healthcare, his new venture, his healthcare app that he's making affordable healthcare with people across the globe. You know, this came across my desk, especially after he done the deal with Rick Ross, investing $1 million behind him, talking about his healthcare and things like that. So without further ado, let's bring in the CEO, Mr. Tommy Duncan. How you doing today, sir?
I'm wonderful, man. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you. Sorry about that little glitch there that I had. You know, technology sometimes gets us.
I know all about
it. So where are you at right now?
I'm in Atlanta.
Okay, you're in Atlanta. All right. So Tommy Duncan, you're the CEO of JetDoc. We know that you're a healthcare entrepreneur. You know, I've seen a lot of things. What makes your situation very interesting to me is you started this healthcare app. You know, it stuck out to me. So I want to ask you the question of who is Tommy Duncan? Where do you get this thing from? How did this happen?
Well, I've been in it for a long time, Prince. I just turned 41.
Okay, all right.
But I started my first healthcare company. I was 26.
Nice.
So I was in Detroit. That's where I'm from. So I started a company. Long story short, had it for about a year, and a company approached me about buying my firm. And so I sold it. The company was called Accretive Health. At the time, they were on this pathway to go public on the New York Stock Exchange. At least that's what they thought. Fortunately for me, it worked out. So they bought my company for stock options in 2007. I went to go work for them as a vice president. I was the youngest person, you know, by 15 years at that title. And I got stock, which was good for me. 3 years later, Accretive went public on the New York Stock Exchange. I made like $1 million, almost $1.5 million before taxes. I was 30. And so I went ahead and I sold all my shares because it was going up every day. So I was like, this can't keep going. So I sold at $19. And within 2 more weeks, went up to $36.
Mr. Duncan, did they have a lockout period for you? Did you have to hold it for a certain amount of time?
So
or how did that go?
No, even though I was the vice president, I wasn't a true officer of the company.
Okay.
So I didn't have a lockout. I mean, I signed like the first 2 weeks or whatever it was. But no, I just kept seeing it go up. So I decided, let me get my money. And then it went up to $36. And then I was, you know, I couldn't even see the money I made. I could only see the money I didn't make. But then they ended up getting delisted, and it went to being worth zero. So when I sold at 19, I actually was smart looking back on it.
Wow.
But at the same time, the Affordable Care Act was passing through Obamacare. And so I saw that one thing was clear to me. More people on Medicaid meant more people in Medicaid managed care. So the ultimate business beneficiary of the Affordable Care Act, which is proven to be true, were the Medicaid managed care companies. And so I sought out to create one or buy one. Realized my $1.5 million, again, before tax was enough to buy one. But I started one myself from scratch in Washington, D.C. It took me a couple of years, raised some more money, used some of mine, did the work, but got a contract in D.C. and moved my family in 2013 to D.C., operated this Medicaid managed care company for 6 years.
Okay.
9 figures.
Nice. That's very nice. I'm glad to hear that, you know, your entrepreneurship.
That I think is funny because when I started, it was before the pandemic. And it was like no one was talking about telehealth. So, you know, now supposed to be 500,000 telehealth visits in 2020, ended up being over 1 billion. So,
okay. So let's go straight into it. JetDoc, what is it? What is this? What is JetDoc?
Yeah, man. So it is a mobile app for virtual urgent care. So we have a team of 400 doctors that man the app 24/7. So any of our members can, you know, just download the app. It's free. When you want to see a doctor, you pay $20 a visit, and you get, you know, you talk to a doctor. If you need a prescription, they'll write it for you. We've contracted with the National Pharmacy Benefit Management Company. So all of our members get access to every pharmacy in the country and get up to 85% off the cost of medication. So CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, wherever. It all comes free within the app. Or you can pay less than $10 a month on a subscription basis and have cover up to 5 people in your household. So you could have cover 5 people for it's like $8 a month.
Wow. Now, with that being said, I would say that the pandemic has been very beneficial for you, right?
Yeah, it has.
Well, I won't say as a joke, but as a company, like you said, nobody was thinking about telehealth, or it was a thing, but it wasn't as prominent as it is now.
No question. No. Listen, it wasn't big. It was the estimated 500,000 telehealth visits in 2020. Because of the pandemic, the actuals came in at over 1 billion.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So it accelerated telehealth by over 10 years. But what happened also is everyone got into it as well. It became the hottest thing in healthcare technology. Right. So even though, there's a big market opportunity, the competitive space has gotten super crowded.
Now, speaking of the competitive space, I want to ask you this next question. You got JetDoc, you got everybody that's running into the hot hand right now in telehealth. How is JetDoc different? But you're the only Black minority owned one that I know, but how is it different from what's out there in the telehealth space?
Yeah. So telehealth has been built primarily to service people with insurance. So ours is no insurance needed. We don't take insurance. So ours is all cash pay, but I made it super inexpensive. So if you just want one visit, it's $20. The pharmacy benefit comes free. Mm-hmm. If you want to pay on a subscription basis, you can have your entire household have access to the telehealth service through JetDoc for $8 a month. So it's like $1.50 a person. And the other thing we did, though, because it got so competitive, is we went the route of, celebrity endorsement and participation. And so that's how I met Rick Ross through a mutual friend.
One thing I want to get into that time. One second, I want to get into that. That was my next question. You was spoiling it for a second. But since you're going into it, how did that happen? How did the Rick Ross, getting the $1 million from, the boss next door? He's down in Atlanta, I'm assuming, right? Yeah,
it's crazy. It's part of the reason I'm here, right? So we started our beta in Florida. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking, well, let me go and try to find someone that can bring eyeballs to what we're doing. And we're going after the heart of the hard. So, Prince, the heart of the hard, which the healthcare industry in the United States has not been able to address successfully, is Black people and a younger demographic. So that's the heart of the hard. But my view, like everything else in life, is the harder it is, the more valuable it is once you crack the code. So we looked at Florida. That's where we have our beta. And I was thinking, okay, well, who can I get celebrity? Who can I work with that would bring eyeballs to it that represents the state? And Rick Ross was first that came to mind. A mutual friend decided to connect us with through his attorney, and we met. And Ross was thinking, instead of, him coming on board for like a episodic, hey, check out JetDoc, and he said he wanted to invest in it and be a part of it on a long-term permanent basis. So, he's really a visionary.
Okay. So he was, instead of walking in and saying, hey, just do a paid sponsorship or something like that, talk about it. He said, no, I want to become like an equity partner, right?
He said, instead of you paying me to do some type of one-time sponsorship, instead, I'll actually invest in the JetDoc on a full-blown basis.
What?
That's how visionary he is. I think people see it because he's been so successful with his brands and in his businesses. Mm-hmm. But I've seen it firsthand.
Wow. So
I also know through talking with him, he's had healthcare conditions that have been real. Mm-hmm. And so he kind of felt a natural, I won't call it an obligation, but he kind of feels this need to get people, particularly our people, to take healthcare seriously and more proactively.
Okay. So how did you feel knowing that you walking in to get a deal for maybe, hey, let me get this sponsorship, and somebody turns around and said, no, I want to invest into this?
Let's do it. Let's get busy. Understand this too, Prince. My last company I had my original investor made 70 times his money, 70. Okay.
Wow. Nice.
Then I brought in another group. They all made 500% in less than 3 years. These are big private equity firms, the most prominent people in healthcare regulation, and also, more importantly, in this regard, in private equity. So some of the most powerful people in healthcare in this country. And so because of my last success, they all went to invest in what I was doing next. And I haven't taken any money, and I've been self-financing it myself. Wow. But for that conversation that you're referring to with Ross to say, hey, I'm looking to be a part of this on a permanent basis. That's the only person I've actually allowed in a material way to get into the company.
Why do you protect it? Is there a reason behind that? Why do you protect it? Why you don't allow people to get inside the company?
Just not yet. One, it's important, so this is my third healthcare company, right? So my first one was successful. My last one was a lot more successful. And like I said, we sold for, much over $100 million. So, but what happens is when you take on take on outside capital, you get diluted. Okay. It's okay to take on outside capital, but it's smarter if you do so once you get a higher valuation. So then if your valuation is $1 million and you take on 100,000, you just gave away 10% for $100,000. The situation I'm in is just not worth it to me, right? But if you get the valuation at $100 million, somebody has to give you $1 million to get 1%. They got to get 10 million to get 10%, right? So it's protective to wait till you have a valuation before you take on outside capital, unless they're bringing true value, which Ross is bringing unquestionably.
Okay. Now, I got to ask this question. She brought about this. Will JetDoc go public? Do you plan on taking this public? Is that going to be one of your end goals to make it a publicly traded company?
When the time is right.
Okay.
That's the thing I'm protecting is keep my options open. Right now in the on the private sector side, a lot of companies aren't going public. You hear about the big ones that are, but a lot are not, because there's a viewpoint that you can get the same value for your company without the requirements and pressures of going public. So you get the same money without the hassle.
Okay. So pretty much they're collecting funds, but it's on a private level, if I'm understanding that correctly?
Yeah, it's on a private level. So you can keep flipping the private equity, stuff like that. So I keep my options open, right? By controlling my company and therefore not getting too diluted. So public is an option. Going private for a while is also an option, but I'm not forced. In terms of people being able to invest, that's my preference, but I'm going to wait until I get a little more momentum first.
Got it. Okay. Now, when we go back to this JetDoc, how does it plan to give back to the community? Some people say, okay, great. Mr. Duncan's doing well. He got a great product, already a great product that's making affordable healthcare right over the phone. How is it going to give back? Is there any type of philanthropy type motives behind it, things like that you haven't, in the pipeline or that you're currently working on?
So, the first thing is, with Ross, we did some Christmas give back stuff, which was awesome. But I'll share this with you as it relates to the give back component. Now, this is before we talk about true philanthropy. But I wrote a book on the healthcare system, on how to change the cost trajectory and outcome trajectory. And I took it to the highest levels of government policy decision making. So this is the leader of Centers for Medicare and Medicaid. Short term is CMS. That is the ultimate regulator for healthcare in the United States. And by the way, healthcare is the biggest economic engine in the United States, though most people don't understand that or really understand the system and how it operates. I wrote this book, shared it with this person, and it was all about, changing the cost trajectory by making healthcare more convenient for folks. And more affordable. Because here's the thing, Prince, even though people who think they're fully insured, let's say they are insured, right? But if they're paying for an individual $6,000 a year in premium, so it's $500 in premium, plus they have a high deductible of $5,000, right? So they're paying the first $5,000 in deductible or whatever. If they're paying the first $5 and they already paid $6 in premium, they're paying the first $11,000 in healthcare expenses. So do they really have insurance, right? The idea of insurance is you pay something so that when you go to the doctor,
you got to pay.
They paying. Not if you're paying you paying $6,000 in premium, then the first $5,000. So the insurance is supposed to compel you to use healthcare proactively to prevent catastrophic incidents. But because it's become so expensive on deductibles, it still discourages you from using it versus encourages you from using it. So the idea of JetDoc being super inexpensive, right? Use technology, make it convenient. And it is, listen, $20 for an urgent care visit. The pharmacy benefit is free, or you can pay $8 a month for your entire household to talk to doctors 24/7 with the pharmacy benefit included. So I view that as like our entire model is about give back to get people really using healthcare proactively.
Now, Tom, I got to ask you this on the business side of the house, with people paying $20 a month and things like that, how does that benefit the physicians, the partnerships, the people that want to come in with you? When they say, well, why do I want to take a pay cut to do this? I could just get more money if I stuck with the traditional system. You know, what is the thing on that?
Smart question, man. So our my last company, we insure 50,000 people between DC and Detroit. The one I just sold to Blue Cross. And so I spent a lot of time in the actuarial science. So actuaries of events accountants. We paid over 1 million claims at over $1 billion in claims paid. I'm all in the numbers, and I'll just shortly tell you that through volume, all the numbers work out to where physicians actually make double their salary with much less in expenses, because now they're just doing a telehealth consultation from their bedroom. So volume is the answer to your question. Got it.
Okay. So people out there because it's a live audience, a bunch of people comment at the same time, but that's some of the questions people ask right now. Because I brought this question because you already kind of touched on this, the current healthcare system, and how do you plan to address that with affordable healthcare? And some people had the question like, wow, how does that become beneficial to the doctors? But so the answer is volume. Hey, I'm bringing you a mass amount of people. You're going to do more volume than just a traditional one-on-one visit. I got that correct?
You got it.
All right. Now the next question, you already kind of touched on this. You spoke about this being an entrepreneur from 26, third company going public, company getting delisted, getting your money out at the right time, getting Rick Ross behind you, all of the good stuff like this. Something that we always see, I won't say it's an issue, but the know-how. How did you raise money for a company? So somebody who's tuning in right now, who's listening, they're saying, man, that was pretty cool what Tommy did. He's making a lot of strategic moves. How do I do that?
So
just got to have swag. Go and tell the truth, Tommy.
Well, you definitely got to have swag, and swag is nothing but confidence, right? You got to have confidence. I went to FAMU, by the way. School of Business.
Nice.
Yeah. So we got a whole lot of swag. Confidence is key, but beyond that, you got to figure out a way to get in. In my first company, I figured out some things I won't share on this live broadcast to get going. And I'm not saying anything, out of pocket, but I am saying you got to hustle.
I want to say what you're comfortable with. I don't want to pressure you. Just say what you're comfortable with.
No, I'm saying you got to hustle your way into a position, right? You have to put forth. I'll tell a quick story. This is actually it's a true story, and I'll try to be brief with it. When the company was coming to buy mine, this little small thing I had, I was in a shared office space like a Regis or a WeWork.
Okay.
And all these folks coming from Chicago for corporate office to diligence my little company that I had. That I got it because I promised to do this government contractor to do double the work for half the money, right? So I had to buy my way in through giving away the service to prove myself. But once this big company, Creative, was deciding to consider buying it, I had them come. Before they come in to meet with me, I'm in this shared office space. And so I literally came in, took a few days before. We wrote a full operating manual. I did all this work to make it look corporate. And I paid these little other entrepreneurs that were in this shared office space, this WeWork. I paid everyone $40 a day. I gave them a name tag with my company on there. I gave them a 1-pager on what to say, just a brief, like 3 bullets. And so it looked like it was all mine, right? And so I did the whole thing. And we had a shared conference room, and I went and I was, doing my thing, pulling my swag out, and they in there for 3-4 hours, and they bought it all, right? I mean, they loved it. They left like, this guy's amazing. And the people didn't work for me. I mean, 80% of them didn't work for me. So you got to figure out how to get in, but I'll tell you how to raise money. You can do it. My last company, all about is 2 things, okay, besides confidence. Number 1, do your homework and put together a plan, because money out here everywhere. You have private equity, you have venture capital, you have all that kind of formal money, which is hard to access if you don't know how to access it. And even still is hard. But you always have people who are before you that have been successful, that are always looking for the person that reminds them of themselves. They want to invest in this person. They show grit, they show confidence, they're smart, they've done their homework, right? Whatever the business plan is, makes logical sense. There's something different about it, that makes it somewhat disruptive. And that difference can be a host of things, but people bet on people. So if you show me that I can invest in you, then in many cases, that's what I want to do, right? So one thing is perform. And then like anything else in life, you want to go get a loan, you got to have a track record. The best predictor of future performance is past results. So I would say just start doing it. And the further you get, the easier it is to raise money.
Okay.
And do what you got to do. Like me, I stopped paying my first house. I got foreclosed on.
Wow.
I got rid of cars.
Just do what you had to do.
Do what you got to do.
Okay. Now, I got to ask you this question here, since you kind of brought it up. What is Tommy Duncan investing in?
Outside of JetDoc?
Yeah, outside of JetDoc, what you investing in?
Bitcoin, baby.
Bitcoin? Okay.
Bitcoin bandwagon, man.
Well, what makes you want to get into Bitcoin? Because it makes money, or got a thought process?
I came in, listen, this dude, the whole time I'm thinking about Bitcoin, I'm like, I don't know, and I feel like I missed the wave, right? But I'm having lunch with this guy, dinner rather, and he's telling me how it keeps going up. And I'm thinking, well, I could have got it 6,500. I'm missing it. And now it's like 13,000. He says, Tommy, it's going up every day. So you can't worry about what happened before. Just keep going up. So I invested in 13,000, man. So I made a lot of money.
Okay.
So Elon Musk is doing it. I'm trying to, what happened? People start running one direction. I'm gonna run with them.
So are you going to sell? Are you going to take your profits anytime soon? Or are you just going
to Bitcoin?
Yeah.
Honestly, I do believe that this institutional investors have not got comfortable with it just yet. They're dipping their toe in it. But once they put their whole foot in it, I think it's going to just keep elevating in value. And here's another thing. I think, Prince, just like from 30,000 feet, I think about our grandparents. When they were younger, to what technology has done to their life from when they were younger to today, from
I can't hear. There you go. We got you.
I don't think it's unfathomable to think that next 10, 20 years that we all will be using some type of virtual currency on an everyday basis.
And it's my thought process is, which is, I believe the dollar is a lot of, it's making major steps in that direction. As far as we look at our dollar, how many people carry around coins and dollars and paper money? It's people are shooting money through apps. What do I need to go to a bank for? So you don't see too much of this physical money. It's kind of dying off, almost a dying breed. Not too many places take cash anymore. So definitely, I know that we will be in a more of a digital currency, but I don't know who's going to be the king to take over it. But that was very interesting to hear your take on it.
Yeah.
But let's get back to the JetDoc. How can people sign up? Can people sign up today? How can people sign up for JetDoc?
So we're launching in Georgia on March 4th, and that's a real big launch. So if you're in Georgia, you can sign up. You go to our website and get on, kind of our VIP list, so that when we do launch in your state, you'll be first to know about it. And we're giving away, free visits, free memberships. My whole thing is, Prince, like real talk. I've already priced it I'm not giving it away, but make it so inexpensive that I'm just covering. And early, I'm not covering my costs at all. So I'm doing it super inexpensive to get people to access healthcare. But even still, I just want people using the app. So I'm giving away a lot just to get people comfortable with it. One thing we've learned through our own customer commentary is once people use it, they love it, and they're never going back to the traditional way of accessing healthcare unless it's absolutely emergent. They love it, right? You got privacy. You're literally in your bedroom. Boop, boop, boop. You talk to a doctor in 2 minutes. You pay $20. You see a doctor. If you need a prescription, they write it for you. You literally go to any pharmacy that's most convenient for you, and you just go pick it up within an hour. And it's deeply, deeply discounted. So, I mean, it's a real story. So this is one of someone I met. She was in Miami, works with Ross. Was in Miami for the holiday. And she has insurance, and she needed a rescue inhaler. This is a real story. And I didn't even know. Like I actually had her tape it because we're going to produce this content. But she's in Miami, needs a rescue inhaler because she has asthma. Fully insured. So she goes, talks to JetDoc because even if you have insurance, you got to talk to a primary care physician. It takes time to get on the phone or whatever. So she does it JetDoc in 2 minutes. So then she talks to the doctor for a few minutes. They write the script for the rescue inhaler. She goes to CVS to pick it up. She gives them her insurance card. And with her insurance, she was going to have to pay $360. She used the JetDoc just to price it, and it was $150.
Wow.
And she has insurance.
Wow. So
the value proposition is extreme. And whether people have insurance, don't have insurance, it's just something convenient to have. It's low cost, and it's a luxury.
Okay. Now, do you want to take 1 or 2 questions from the live audience?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. So some people come in there saying smart strategy. Somebody on Facebook Live. We got somebody in Hawaii. Aloha. Hey, how's it going out there? How's it going out there? Okay, but we already kind of answered this one. They said, are you able to invest on the stock market? So one person asked, how can you become a private investor? I know you kind of spoke on that. You wasn't ready to do that right now.
Not yet. You know what? Let's stay in touch, Prince. Like, let's really stay in touch. I love having this conversation with you. I love to have it again. If we have whatever way works for you to stay in touch, let's do it. And for your audience, I'll share information like that as it comes up. Right now, I'm not taking on any capital. I'm self-financing for the reason I described to you earlier. But when the time is right, I'll only do it if I know that with that investment is going to come extreme upside value creation for whoever the investor is. Like I said, my last one, people made between 70 times their money. I mean, so that's what I like to produce for people that I end up partnering with in any form of fashion. If you invest in me, you're going to make a lot of money.
Okay. All right. I like that. FAMU Detroit swag. All right. So next question. They said, what if someone needs labs? Can a physician send orders to labs near me? Like, what if someone needs labs?
Yeah. So we're looping in lab over the next month or so that we'll be able to coordinate that for you to a local lab. Right now, we don't have it, but within 30 days, we will.
Okay. All right. Last one. They said, who would you say are the competitors to JetDoc? I know you don't want to give them a shout out, but just some people.
Yeah, well, they're traditional telehealth companies that were big before the pandemic that are super big now because of the pandemic. Most of them are leaning towards insurance pay. So folks that have insurance, those companies build their insurance. In terms of the market that we're going after, there aren't any.
Okay.
Many, I mean, that I'm aware of, but competitive. It's competitive. So.
Okay. All right. So.
Go to our website, www.jetdoc.com.
JetDoc.com. All right.
And follow us on IG @myJetDoc.
All right. Now, is there anything you want to leave anybody out there before we get out of here?
No, go to our website, please. Sign up, please. It's helpful to show that folks are interested and looking forward to what we're bringing. And IG followers is helpful as well. We'll keep in loop of what we're doing when we come to your state. And investor relations, how we're getting people involved. So,
all right.
Yeah, join the family.
I got to ask you this question. Somebody asked the question: is there any plans to launch in the islands?
Which islands?
Which islands are you talking about? I'm guessing they may be talking about Hawaii, but it's in the islands. Maybe Jamaica. Maybe it's plenty of islands. But I want to ask you the question: did you have fun on the Investor Show?
Man, I had a blast, man. But to answer that question, we're in talks on a big island. We're talking with the Bahamas. We're talking, Hawaii's come up to me a few times, interestingly enough. So we're considering Hawaii. But yeah, man. But answer your bigger question. Have I enjoyed it? I'm having a blast. I want to do it again. All
right, cool. It was Hawaii too. That was the one. So yeah. It was asking about Hawaii.
I've heard, we're thinking through Hawaii. We really are.
Okay. Yeah. Well, glad you had fun. Glad you come back on. Definitely glad to have you on. I want to wish you the best, and people are very interested in it. I'm very interested in it. I take my hat out to you for your entrepreneurship spirit and making it happen. So, is there anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
Next time you're at Warren Buffett, tell him I need some money. I'll take some from him. You take them billions. Yeah, he wants to get back to black people. Tell him give me $1 billion.
$1 billion? Woo!
I need $1 billion. But he'll make 70 times it back though.
Okay, all right. I hear you, Tommy. All right, okay, 70 times back. Well, I want to get that 70% too. Now, let me in on that.
I got you. I'm gonna give you 20%.
Appreciate it. I'll take it.
All right, my brother.
All right, thank you.
All right, man. Talk to you soon. Let's do it again.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, that is the Investor Show today. That's Mr. Tommy Duncan coming from JetDoc, partnering with Rick Ross to launch $1 million healthcare app called JetDoc. Y'all go check that out. Hopefully, y'all learn something from him about raising money, healthcare, all of the great stuff. Right. So anyway, I want to say thank y'all for tuning in. And to the next video podcast, cartoon, or whatever else crazy you see me do around the globe. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share button. Peace. Be safe. I'm out. Thank you.